I have to say, hang on. This is, I know you don't like it when it's like that, do you? It throws you out. It's been a while, hasn't it, since we've done a pre-match, Duke?
You know what? Very much so. And I did think this when I was. Oh, there we go. I did think this when we were talking about coming on, about me coming on earlier or last night when we did the daily. And it's been too long, mate. It's been far too long. I've got to say.
That's what the international break does, isn't it, mate?
You can tell that because my camera's all over the gaff. I've had a little bit of a move around. I've swapped areas in the room.
It's impressive. I like it.
And now I keep knocking my table with the arms of my chair. So I'm I'm still getting the hang of it. Look, there we go. I'm gonna. Look a bit better. There we go. Right.
Shall I do my usual?
Do you?
Drop a like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that bell icon to be notified of any new content as and when we upload it to the channel, such as this. So, Duke, we're making the I say a short trip. It's short compared to Newcastle, I guess. Around the M25 and down the M3 to there on the Hampshire coast, Southampton. Obviously lost their main striker in the summer. And hello, Carol. Hope you're well, mate. So, but they've obviously brought in a guy that we were linked with, Mr. Armstrong. Various other signings as well, which we'll talk about. But do you think this will be a tough test, or do you think this should be relatively routine for us, given the form we're in? Hey, words and pictures.
To quote Carol in the chat earlier, there are no easy games in the Premier League, mate. And I don't care what anyone says. I don't care whether you're talking about Norwich or anyone else. Proof in the pudding is currently Arsenal. They're having an absolute mare of a season, and they come up against Norwich, I believe, on Saturday, if my mind serves me correctly.
I think they do. Yeah,
and you'd expect an Arsenal side full of the quality that they've got to turn a Norwich side over, but the way it is at the minute, I'll be honest, I've been talking to a few Arsenal fans and I don't see it. So for me, there is no what you'd consider easy games in the Premier League. So I'm not saying that this is going to be a tough away day. The travel up to Newcastle are a very difficult side. I can see this one giving us some trouble. I can see us giving them some trouble, but on the other side to that, I do expect us to come away with the 3 points, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a walkover.
No, I don't. I think we're going to have to work hard, but I think
definitely.
I think we will get the 3 points. I think we will come back up the M3, round the M25 and across the Dartford crossing, and we're this side of it, but there you go. To sort of, with the 3 points. Should I put on the screen for the dear viewers the team that I think we're going to kick out?
By all means, let's the bones out of it, as you say.
Full screen. Okay, let me just get rid of the banner there so you can see. Okay, I believe that he's going to stick with Fabianski. And I think it may well be that I was watching Gio and Gonzo's pre-match yesterday, and I kind of agree that I think that because of the European game, it's kind of allowed David Moyes to, I think Gio was the one that said it kicked the can down the road a little bit. And then Areola will come in against Dinamo Zagreb on Thursday. I think we're going to go with a back four. The rest of it, I think, pretty much picks itself. Zouma coming in for Dawson, who, to be brutally honest about it, he's had 3 games, 2 of which he's looked suspect, and that's me being very generous. But the rest of it, I think, picks itself. Ben Rama, Fornals, they have a tendency to sort of swap over. 1 minute, one will be left, and the one will be central, and then they'll swap over. But that's generally where they are. But the rest of the team picks itself, unless David Moyes pulls a sort of like a flanker on me. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I agree with the squad or the starting 11. I just disagree with a couple of disagree with a couple of or a position there. I don't think Fornals will be central. I think Ben Rama will, and the reason for that is the young right back. I was privy to another stream at 10 o'clock this morning where the boys were talking about it, and I made him right. I believe is it Livramento, the young right
Livramento,
back?
yeah, from Chelsea.
Very, very quick,
Yes.
very, very pacey. As you've said, you've got your opinion as to who they're going to start out on the right wing as well. And if you add that to the equation, Fornals out on the out on the left is going to be, essential to the defensive side of things. We can't let Cresswell get overrun by Livramento and by as you think might go will be Walcott. Now, if he comes up against them two, and I know Walcott's getting on a bit, but he's still got the pace. He's still rapid considering his age. Now, when you put that into the situation, if that's the case, then Fornals has to start out on the left because he offers that defensive side of his game to help Cresswell, as we've seen over and over again over the last 20, 25 games, 30 games. So unless he sticks Ben Rama out there for his trickery, which will then keep Livramento at the back and in his own, in their first third of the pitch, and Ben Rama can keep him there. So then Fornals from the number 10 role can drop in to help Cresswell against
Walcott.
Yeah, against Walcott. Thank you. My brain went nope. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm kind of. I think you've picked the right squad, the right 11. I just think Fornals and Ben Rama will move just to kind of isolate, or sorry, so that Cresswell doesn't get isolated against two very, very quick players.
As I say, with those two, I think they'll interchange anyway. I think, let's say, you'll have passages of play where you'll look and you'll see that the guy that starts on the left wing and the guy that starts in the 10 have all of a sudden swapped over. I don't think they're going to be regimented. I think they will cross over at certain points, but you could argue either way. But shall we get on to the Southampton team? What I suspect may well be...
Just one more. I've got a question for you.
Fire away.
You think, out of those three... Let me rephrase it. Out of the four, including Antonio, in my opinion, it's Bowen that is most at risk with Vlasic coming in. Would you agree on that? Is that something you agree with?
Completely agree, for the simple fact that he's not got a goal yet. He's playing really well. He's playing really well, but I think that's
the thing, isn't it? Yeah,
that's the one thing that's been missing, and I think that goals win games, and we need to get as many goal contributions from as many different areas on the pitch. And I think that the longer it goes on, where Bowen, play well though he may, doesn't put the ball in the back of the net, then I rather suspect that he's probably the low hanging fruit for David Moyes to pick.
Yeah.
So
that's my concern. I just think it's going to be harsh on Bowen. Like you say, I think he's worked really hard. It's
a great problem to have, though, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I mean, we've not had that situation for a long, long time now. But my only concern is in the same way that Ben Rama last year, confidence was not his ability was clear to see, but he wasn't. I think he was trying to force it too much when he was playing on the pitch when he got his chance.
Yeah.
That the same's going to happen to Bowen. And when he, if he is the one that loses his position because Vlasic comes in, performs, admirably next Thursday, fingers crossed. And Moyes has a decision to make for the game against United in the league.
Yeah.
Then Bowen's going to be trying to force his hand too much. He's going to be trying one too many shots from distance that normally he wouldn't be making, and his confidence will then suffer from that because if he's not performing or he gets hauled off because of it, then again, same problem we had with Ben Rama last year with
That's just what I was thinking.
Lingard there. I just don't think I don't think it'll be fair on Bowen. But I mean, you're kind of heart on heart, hand on heart, thinking, well, you know what? If Antonio goes down with an injury, Bowen steps into that forward role, or even Vlasic steps into that full role, and then Bowen doesn't lose game time.
Yeah.
Not that I'm wishing an injury on Antonio,
No.
but I'm also wishing that Bowen doesn't lose his game time, because I think he's been a key player for us over the last season and a half.
But there's a lot of games to play. I mean, we discussed it on the Daily West Ham. And for those of you that don't know, it's a new little thing we've done the last couple of mornings at 8:05. It premieres, and it's just basically where we sit down and have a little chat about some little snippets of information, as it says, Daily West Ham. So, please join us. Okay, so should we get into the Southampton team that I suspect will take to the pitch? And obviously you can give me your thoughts on whether I'm onto something or not. Okay, so goalkeeper picks himself, Alex McCarthy. I think Livramento's going to start at right fullback, and I think that Kyle Walker-Peters is going to start at left back, despite the fact he's actually a right back by trade. I think probably the reason for that will be because of Jared Bowen, who has tendency, he plays on our right, so they're left, and he has a tendency to he likes to chop inside and get it onto his left. So I think that will be the reason why Walker-Peters will be there, and not the summer sign. Was it Perot? I think was his name.
Yeah.
He will be there at left back. The centre halves, Salisu and Stevens, pretty standard. The central midfield, Romeo and Ward-Prowse, absolute wand of a boot, just sort of.
And Romeo is one of the ones that will just quite happily kick as well.
He's the enforcer, isn't he?
And it's not pretty. He's what our Julian Dix used to be, mate. And he's kind of a throwback type of player because of the way he plays. Yeah,
I think the team's a throwback, if I'm being honest, Duke, because you look at it, it's 4-4-2. There's very few teams in the Premier League that play 4-4-2 routinely, other than Southampton and probably Burnley. But you look at that central midfield, and you've got the one player that's sort of like the slightly more cultured, the more footballing player, and then the other one's just basically the midfield destroyer, break up the play and get the ball moving in the opposite direction. I think Gineppo's going to go on the left, but I think Walcott's going to play on the right. He didn't play in the last game. I think it was Elianusi is his name, I think. But I think that Walcott's pace, I think that even despite the fact that he's now in his 30s, as you said earlier, the guy's still got pace to burn. And I think that him being there will, because obviously, don't forget, a lot of our attacks down our left come from Aaron Cresswell. And I just wonder if what Hassan Houtal's thinking is that if he puts a bit of a speed merchant there in Theo Walcott, is that kind of going to put the handbrake on Aaron Cresswell from making his forays up the pitch as he otherwise might? Because he's going to have in the back of his mind, if I get caught here, this guy's going to absolutely tear me a new one.
And you know what, that's the concern, and I know you know two boys up top give me the same sort of concern, Rob, to be honest with you. That right hand side for them and their two forward players, we have to be switched on, because Ward-Prowse, much like Declan Rice, has, like you say, he can ping a ball 50, 60 yards. And he's only got to drop it over the heads of them two centre-backs, and those two boys will be away. Those two boys will be gone. Pace merchants. And not just a case of, ball into feet and then they hit it and run. This will be them on the move. Ward-Prowse will drop the ball straight in behind our back four. They will run onto it, and literally, they will only need, 2 or 3 sighters of that shit, and then then we're going to come unstuck. So our back four, if you will, are going to Yeah, there you go. That's some pictures. I think their two forwards are going to cause us trouble. I don't think they're the strongest pairing up front in the Premier League.
No.
Che Adams, he's not set the world on fire since he's been there. He's had 2 seasons in the Premier League now, and he's not hit double figures. But he's got the ability to do so. And if you give him enough chances, he will start sticking the ball in the back of the net. Their forward line is very much how how I used to play on FIFA. It was too rapid as players up front. You play the ball through the middle and just let them run. And you know what? If you get 5 chances and you score one, you're going to make 20 chances in a game because you know they've got the pace to get in and behind. So that's my concern. That's is Armstrong going to come back and bite us in the arse? Because that's what he does. That's what we do as a team. I just think that. You know what? I like Adams as a player. He is pacey. I think he's got the ability.
Yeah, he's just not that prolific, is he?
Yeah, you just haven't seen it yet. I mean, chances are this season he might come back and bite me in the arse, and he'll go and bag 15, 20 goals this season. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a chance. But I'd like to think that the two boys at the back have got enough about them. Bonner's got enough big match experience. Zouma, 26 years old, he's got big match experience, and when we say that, I mean finals and international. But I think that Bonner will coach him through the game. His first game for us. The only problem I've got with Zouma walking in is I think he only joined up with the team yesterday or Wednesday, so he's only had one. He's only had 1 or 2 days, so is he going to be up to speed with the tactics, the formation, etc.? So I know people say, "Oh, well, he's a professional footballer; he should be able to pick that up quite easily," But I don't know. I mean, I want to see him come in. I want to see him start. Of course, I do. But I just think it might be a day too soon. If it'd been on Sunday, then I could have guaranteed he would have started. But. Yeah.
Do you think that team that I've put up there, Duke, and I'll just get it up there again for you. Let me just get that out of the way. Do you think that's what we're going to face, or can you make a case for other players playing, or do you think that's
no? You know what? You've convinced me. If I'm honest, I can't see them. They won't deviate from that formation.
No,
you might see the players on opposite sides of the pitch. Livramento will start there, but it's a question of whether Walker Peters ends up over that side. Depends on whether they change it. Walcott can start either side in the grand scheme of things. It just depends on how they're gonna approach the game and as to which side their attacks are going to attempt to come down. So you could be looking at Ward-Prowse will play the other side of that central midfield and play on the left. Because play on their left because he can put the ball over to their right. And
I don't think Luke thinks much of McCarthy.
Oh, he's got the same start as the surname of an old flappy goalkeeper for us in McKnight. So maybe.
Or Roberto.
Oh, Ian's just dropped something in the chat there. Go see the next comment down. That's interesting.
Have they? Okay.
That's very interesting.
Then I would suggest it's going to be El Yunusi then in for Walcott.
Let me just.
Walcott is injured, I guess. Then has he been injured, Ian?
Triple boost for West Ham as Saints confirm new blow, Gatesy.
Okay.
This was a couple of hours ago. So Southampton already dealing with the major double injury blow for Theo Walcott and Stuart Armstrong missing for the visit of high-flying West Ham. And now the Saints boss has to take out Shane Long as he's tested positive
Well,
for COVID.
it's
So,
funny you should say that, because as if by magic, I had this prepared. And right at the top, that's the very point it makes, that
well,
Shane
there you
Long's
go then.
tested positive for COVID. So he's not
Can-
available.
Can
Stuart
I just double
Armstrong.
check?
Yep.
Their striker
Mhm.
is Adam Armstrong, isn't it? It's the old Blackburn fella.
Yes.
Right, okay. So I see Stuart Armstrong and I was like, oh, but no, that's fine. My brain was like, no.
Yeah. I don't, as I say, I didn't think, even if he'd have been available, I didn't think that Stuart Armstrong would have started. But Adam Armstrong, yeah. So
But
yeah, so
Walcott
Stuart
being out.
Armstrong, that's here. It says he's out. It went on to say, as you can see there, El Yunusi is enjoying a purple patch. Looks safe to continue on the right flank for Southampton. I got to be honest, as I say, I disagreed with that. I thought that Walcott would probably play because of his pace, but if he's now been ruled out, then I think, it'll be El Yunusi, so he'll carry on. Southampton are well stocked at fullback following the summer arrivals of Tino Livramento and Romain Perrault, as we've discussed. And then it says that new signing Lyanco will be in the squad, but may have to do with a place on the bench for now.
Don't call me a name like
that. Sorry, I do apologise to anyone. Anyone listening on medium wave, I said Lyanco.
Just looking at what W&P there said, words and pictures.
Sorry.
I've stopped touching buttons. It's fine. We have a habit of this, didn't we? It's been a while. You know what? I don't think they do, and I think that's why they will be fresher and again drilled, better tactically. But in the grand scheme of things, I would like to think that if you could bring their team back up again, Gatesy, for me.
Oh, Southampton's?
No, West Ham. Yeah, Southampton's for me. Yeah, bring up the Southampton side there. There's one, maybe two players there that get into our side, and only one of them walks into our team if there's an injury. Ward-Prowse. I think Ward-Prowse gets into our team. It's just a question of where we shoehorn him in. And Adam Armstrong, with an injury to Antonio, he gets into our side. The rest of those don't get close, if I'm honest with you. I really don't. Maybe Livramento, but again, are you going to pick him over Soufal? Walker Peters might get in because he's a bit younger.
He's had a great start. It's 3 games, isn't it? I'm not saying that he's not a guy that's going to go on to bigger and better things, but it's 3 Premier League games. I'm not. I say I've been impressed what I've seen of the kid, but
it looks
would I have been over Soufal?
No. I mean, I listened to West Ham Online earlier over with Andy Miles over on West Ham Reunited. And
subscribe.
No, don't do that. Sorry, Andy, I love you. I'm sorry. Go like and subscribe.
Don't unsubscribe from us, but subscribe there as well.
Go over there, watch their videos, subscribe and touch their bell. They'll like it. But again, West Ham Online was talking about Livramento and the guys that he's in. He's in good company at Chelsea with regards to the youth player the Youth Player of the Year award that he got. Listening to West Ham Online wax very lyrical about him earlier. He's I think he said that Chelsea have added a £35 million buyback clause. To make sure that they have the first opportunity to bring him back, and he's signed until 2024. West Ham Online, yes, I am confident that we can come away with 3 points. I'm not going to lie. If he'd been in at the start, if he'd actually turned up when this stream started, he'd know that we were confident, Gatesy. I mean, he's rocked up halfway through. I'm just saying, where's the commitment?
He's recovering from COVID. Be gentle with him.
Then he's at home, isn't he, in front of his phone and computer?
He's probably sitting there. He's probably sitting there, bless him, next to an open log fire. He's probably got a tartan blanket over his lap, and he's sitting.
How old are you
there
making him here? I'm sure he's only 17. You're making him sound like he's a 95-year-old Scotsman.
He's sitting there with his hot toddy, you know, shivering away.
Like Carote's in a bowl next to him steaming. Well, what are you on about? He's going to start singing "There's a moose loose about this like that in a minute, is he? Sorry, West Ham Online.
That's all right. This is a little bit of information. I don't know whether you guys are interested in it. I thought I'd get it up there if you wanted to pick it out the bones of it. And I know that West Ham Online, he likes his statistics. Probable to line up statistical comparison. 3 goals in their lineup, 10 in ours. 1 assist in their lineup, 8 in ours. Average ratings, ours come up on above, you know, our average age, you know, is sort of like, you know, is a good balance between youth and experience. I think 28.5. Our average height amongst the team, a shade taller. Whether you think that's important, I'm not so sure. I suppose at set pieces, maybe that's relevant, but other than that, not a lot.
Set pieces last year. We were phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
I think you know. I think we had the most goals, didn't we, from set pieces last year?
When was the last time we scored a goal from a set piece? Though I'm trying to remember.
Well, I mean, I'm not being funny. I'm touching wood. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that as well. Fingers crossed. I'm not going to touch wood. Fingers crossed. If we can avoid hitting the crossbar or the post as many times as we did last season and just drop the ball 6 inches left, right, up or down, then we're gonna score a lot more goals this season. Zouma, you know, Zouma's height coming in, he was devastating for Chelsea in the air. You know, he was cracking. So I'm glad we've got him. Does he take? You know, is he going to score more goals in the air than Dawson? Probably not. He's going to be there or thereabouts with Dawson. You know, with the amount of goals that they score. You know, you've got the likes of Bonner, Soucek, Rice. You know, you've got lumps that can win that ball in the air. I'm not Antonio's no slouch. Vlasic scored, you know, midweek from a header. So there's no slouches up there, and we know how dangerous we are with our height gates. So with a bit of luck, you know, we can put them under some pressure tomorrow from set pieces. That reads some lovely stat. That right there, that looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does. That's you know, quite. And I know, sort of like. I mean, this is our, you know, going the first fixture that we had against each other. We were still called Thames Ironworks, 1899. So it goes back that far, this fixture. But I think you'd say if you've got sort of like 80 wins, 50 defeats, and 47 draws, I think you could quite legitimately say that you feel reasonably confident that history is on your side.
The upper hand.
You know, history doesn't sort of count for an awful lot.
I mean,
sometimes.
Luke's right there. Luke is right there. Yeah, we do seem to get a few red cards against this mob. We do seem to give away some penos in this. So then you go down. Yes, Luke. Yes.
Oh.
Yes, Luke.
Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh, Luke. That was the following year, actually. Just to correct you.
Your missus was mascot this year, was she? Right, gotcha. No, I
don't tell her. I won't tell her you said that.
Listen, she's probably watching on her phone. Oh no, there she goes. Woo, survived that one.
I think it's safe. She's making dinner.
I'd like to think. Listen, at the end of the day, under Moyes, we are a lot more.
Oh, look who's turned up.
Oh,
Chris. Chris, I helped you out yesterday. Come on. Oh, come on. I thought we had an understanding. And guys, listen, if any of you haven't, do us a favour. Leicester Till I Die TV, if you could give them a subscribe as well. I know it's not a West Ham fan YouTube channel, but Chris is a really good guy. You know, he's sort of he's helped us out and all the rest of it. So,
you sure you want to carry that on, Gacy?
No, I'm going to take that one on the chin. I'm going to take that one on the chin because it's Chris and I like Chris. So,
Luke, I believe the referee is Andy Magley for the game tomorrow. So I've just had a quick Google, and it's Andy Magley. Is he not Was he the one that sent
Bobby
off
Madley's.
Souček?
It,
That Madley that sent off Souček against Fulham.
I thought that was Martin Atkinson, wasn't it?
Mate, I don't know. I wouldn't know. I thought the referee the other...
Luke. Shots fired. Shots fired in Chris's direction.
Yeah.
Chris's direction.
You know what? Spencer's right. I was talking about Harry Kane the other night with you, Rob, wasn't I? After the England game when you came up to get George. And I mentioned Letizia in the same vein as Harry Kane for England the other night. You know, he did absolutely bugger all in a game. You know, the other night against Poland. Harry Kane did nothing in the grand scheme of things. And he pulled out that one bit of magic, which was an amazing goal. But it reminded me of how Letizia used to be. He did nothing for 90 minutes, produced an absolute piece of magic that we didn't stop talking about. Let's be honest. I mean, if the goals that Letizia scored in a lot of his games, the free kicks, the keep up volley running one that he scored, if I remember rightly.
Oh, the one against Newcastle.
If that had been scored by one of the top two today, as in Messi and Ronaldo, we wouldn't shut up about it for months.
No.
You know what I mean? No. It was an accident. So, you know, again, I'm glad they don't have that. I mean, Ward-Prowse is probably about as close as they've got to someone who's got a wand of an absolute wand of a foot. What's he up to here at this point?
Hang on. ADAMS.
I think he's trying to spell Adams or Armstrong.
No. Yeah, why don't you just put it all on one line, West Ham Online? It's saves
because he's trying to get it all in. He's trying to get it all in before someone else comments.
Dear.
That's what he's trying to do. Yeah, you know what, Luke? I can't disagree more there. I can't agree more. I cannot agree more. The man, you know, he kind of, for me, I'll be honest, I watched Messi over at Upton Park when he played against Croatia. And I couldn't believe how much time the guy spent offside. Even Simon couldn't believe how much time the man spent offside. Okay, he wandered around the final third, not care in the world, offside, until the ball came within 15 or 20 feet of it, and Christ Almighty, he was like shit off a shovel. He moved like nobody's business to get back on side, either to receive the ball or ready for a through ball. And defenders forgot about him. Defenders forgot about Messi in that game. He was basically, because he was so offside so often, that's where they last saw him. He's probably still there, and bang, burst the pace, and he was gone. Letizia, that reminds me of Letizia. He was so non-existent in a game for a lot of the time that players forgot about him. You know, your midfielders picking him up, or your back line not picking him up, and bang, he produced this absolute piece of magic. He's at it again. Look, he can't even spell.
Oh, honestly, I'll tell you what. I think that this COVID sent him stir crazy. Who will get the winner tomorrow? So long as it's a player in claret and blue. In actual fact, I couldn't care less if it was an own goal. I couldn't care less if we got the 3 point.
I can see Antonio adding to his tally, Rob. To be honest with you, I can. I can see Benrahma being as dangerous as he's been so far this season for us. I can see Fornals putting in another absolute, workhorse of a shift.
Ooh, that's a prediction, Mick. I'll tell you what.
Prediction and a half, really.
Put a tenner on that, mate, and if it comes in, the beers are on you.
Oh, is that it now? Look. He's spelled my name right, though.
Who owns a pub?
You know what? Yeah.
He spelt your name right, at least.
He did.
That's all right. He's got the last two spellings wrong, but there you go.
Who is this brew? Who is this brew A? Where is this brew A? The next comment down from him underneath my name. He's up to no good, Gatesy. He's up to no good. I can't do it.
It's not fever in disguise, is it? It's not fever in disguise. He's not been smuggled in, has he? Like Mourinho was smuggled in that Champions League game in the old laundry basket.
James,
if it's you, don't worry. You know, we don't bite. We don't. You know, we're a friendly bunch. You can show yourself.
I think we'll win 3-1 tomorrow, Gatesy. To be honest,
I've gone 2-0.
3-1 win. Have you really?
I've gone
3-1,
2-0.
and
I think we've got to
agree
keep clean
with
sheet.
Spencer. I agree with Spencer.
Hang on. What, this one? Hang on. Where's it gone?
I
That
think
one.
Bowen could get off the mark tomorrow.
That'd be nice.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it because I'd like to see him keep his. I'd like to see him keep his place. And no disrespect to Vlasic, but I want to see Bowen in there again. Much like Fornell's work rate, just absolute work rate from him. You know what? Yes, that there.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
comment there. Best. I tell you what. Not the best West Ham team I've seen in a long time because there are some other players from other eras and other seasons that would probably sneak in somewhere in that squad, in that starting 11. I think it's the best squad of players we've had for a long time. I think it's the best, and by squad, by squad, I don't mean just the group of talented players that we've got. I'm talking about a group of talented players that we've got that actually work together as a unit.
Yeah.
He's like we've said many times over, Rob, haven't we, that Moyes is not just building a team of players. He's building a team of characters, characters that will get on, characters that will work well together.
Luke! I know someone that would be absolutely screwing at that. I think you do too.
He'd be apoplectic, would he? It'd be absolutely apoplectic. Oh,
he'd go mental. And to be fair, with good reason, because Benny's been top banana for me.
Mick, that's a brave statement there. Brave statement from Mick. I like it. Guys, you stop.
I think it's Simon.
Oh, really? Is that why he's asked?
I think that's why he's asked. I think that he's being mischievous. I think he's above me, but a lot of people are above me in fairness. But there's a little sort of section where the sort of. And if any of you are watching and are wondering about the Super Six, it's not too late to get involved. I might do a little stream to go out sometime before the kickoff tomorrow, because just to sort of give anyone, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, there's no point me joining the Super Six, Gatesy, because we're three matches into the Premier League season. I actually did it 2 seasons ago. My brother started one at work, and I only found out about it after 8 Premier League fixtures had gone, and I ended up winning it. So it can be done. It can be done.
Right, beautiful people, listen. Right, that comment there. I'm gonna touch on this.
You're going to touch the Canio?
Listen, if that fella gave me a chance, I'd touch him. I think I honestly love him.
You carry on talking. I'm just going to do something in the background. You carry on.
All right, fair enough. That side was phenomenal. If it was that like we had, you know what? Cheers, Andy. It's good to be sitting down. I know that they're going to need me downstairs in a minute, so I ain't going to be much out here much longer. The Canio team is one of my favourites that I remember watching. Mick, to be fair, I did a game stewarding over there when Di Canio was against Newcastle. I believe Di Canio scored and Kitson scored the winner for us, and I was standing underneath the big old the awning on top of the garages down between the corner of the Bobby Moore stand and the chicken run.
Oh yeah.
And Paul Kitson scored and ran towards the corner flag. I wasn't welcome back to Stewart after that because I went and I ran towards Mr. Kitson. So I was told not to go back.
They took your high vis off you.
Hauled into the security office where I had to wait for the rest of the game for the guy that took, because I used to work for an agency, so I had to go sit and wait for the guy. You're in the centenary stand. Oh.
Marmite version of Campbell's beer?
No, I don't. It's going to be rotten, Luke. Rotten.
I like Marmite.
I can't imagine. Oh, really? Right.
No, I like Marmite, but it's just certain things.
I'm surfing you out the channel. You're no longer false to mine.
I wouldn't have a Marmite flavoured
Marmite
custard or something like that. I mean, I've got standards for Christ's sakes.
God, no.
So,
no.
Anyway,
I'll
tell you what, Spence, I've seen
we've
that.
Only got 20.
That was
we've only got 20 likes.
Yeah,
20 likes on the video. 29 people watching. Get your rear ends over.
Look who's joined us.
Oh, it's Anson, man. Oh, hang on. Are you laying on your bed, Andy? Are you laying on your bed?
Yeah. I thought I'll quickly come and say hello. I've got dinner in 5 minutes.
Keep your top on if you're laying on your bed. That's all I'm asking.
Well, for those of you that don't know, guys, Milesy, you've set up your own channel, haven't you, mate? Tell them where you're at.
Don't go out there and like it. No, don't let him. No,
don't be horrible. Miserable git.
I've got a new channel, have I?
So I was allegedly.
No, it's going well. Yeah, no, West Ham reunited. Done a couple of videos today. I've got my own preview on there as well. Like I said, we was talking today with Duke. We're going to do some collaborations with videos. We've got some ideas and stuff. So I've not gone away forever. You're still going to have me around. Unfortunately.
Oh,
like a bad spell.
Listen. He was over with me at the pub today. We had a nice lunch, Andy, didn't we? Well, you had a nice lunch. I had a nice liquid lunch. And it was just nice to sit and chat, mate, wasn't it? I mean, it was good. It's been a while since we've been able to do it. So, I jumped on.
Definitely.
You guys were having a chat earlier, weren't you? You, Kral, West Ham Online, doing your preview this morning. I jumped on, and very much like I've said, I just said the same on your stream this morning as I did on here just then. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I do. I think we'll come away 3-1.
No, definitely, mate. I'm buzzing. Like I said, obviously I'm going there. I'm leaving at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So it's going to be a long day.
Are you back from the pub for the rest of the night there, Andy? Because I know you went to your local, didn't you? After you left me.
You get in trouble.
Hang on a minute. Let me just swap
Can
this
we edit?
out.
Can we edit this bit out?
Yeah, we've edited. It's all gone. Yeah, the edit's gone. Yeah.
No
cheers.
one noticed.
No, there's a live button. Damn it.
Oh well. Never mind.
But no, gents, I just thought I'd pop in and say hello to all the fans out there as well. I'm feeling positive tomorrow, and if any of you around on Sunday, I know you are doing a post-match as well, but I'm doing it nice and early at 10:30. So if none of you are doing anything 10:30 on Sunday, you're more than welcome to come on.
Yeah, send us a link.
I'll be getting set up for the. I'll be getting set up for the pub, so I'll probably have it in my ear and in my pocket, and I'll jump on and have a. Yeah.
My daughter's got a game of football, which is then very closely followed by confirmation. No, I wish. No, she's doing is it confirmation? Yeah, confirmation.
Right, yeah.
So there's all that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Like I said, we've got another 50 games or whatever it is for the rest of the season, so we'll definitely collaborate on others. But
Mick,
but no, like I said, gents, I wanted to pop in and say hello before my dinner and speak to you soon. Yeah, nice seeing you today, Duke, as well.
Good to see you, buddy.
Take care.
See you there, mate. Look after yourself. Stay safe.
Bye.
Andy Miles of West Ham reunited.
Just to give you a quick one. Casey's deleted the banner. He no longer loves me. He's got rid of the banner. My pub banner. You probably see.
Oh.
No longer love me. I'll do it now.
I'll do you a new one. No,
I'm doing it now. No, I've already started. I've already started.
Oh, stuff you then, miserable git. Shall I do my little nuggets of information for the viewers at home?
Yeah, go on then. While I do my little banner.
Right, there you go. Southampton have lost 2 of their last 3 home league games against us, drawing 1. It's as many as they had in their previous 16 against the Hammers at St Mary's and Dell, winning 8, drawing 6, and losing 2. Is that a reason to be cheerful, I think, Duke?
You know what? You put the other one up earlier, mate, that we would 180 out of 170 something. I'm not being funny. This is one team that, in the grand scheme of things, we should consider ourselves their bogey side. There's no reason why we should have a problem with beating them tomorrow. I mean, we've got the better 11. I said there's only really one that will walk into our squad out of it. So we should be confident of winning tomorrow.
Yeah. Sorry, Spence. If you got, I'll tell you what. We'll have to sort of. Should we club together and get him? No, forget it. No, don't worry. I've got 3 kids. You're joking. West Ham have won 6 of our last 7 Premier League meetings with Southampton, drawing 1, scoring 15 goals and conceding just twice in this run with 5 clean sheets. Hopefully, it becomes 6 tomorrow.
Well, it'd be nice to keep a clean sheet. I mean, we've played well enough that we've deserved clean sheets this season, Rob. You know, I'm not gonna bitch and whinge about
a hippio.
I'll
tell you what, this COVID has affected him badly. Good God.
No, I mean, listen, we've played well enough where we deserve to be on top. So I think I think 3-1, but I would like a clean sheet. Just going back to Mick's original comment there, I'll just quickly scroll back through 4,876 West Ham online messages. Mick,
he's a
just to go back and cover this one, I'd love to meet up for a beer, sir. I run a pub. If you don't know, I don't know if you've seen me on here a few times, but this is my pub. This is where we are. Yeah, if anyone that's around, anyone that's local enough or not local enough, there's a few hotels by. Just drop me a DM on Twitter. It handles in the on my picture at Hammers Duke, or even Mr. Gates over there. Drop him a DM, or even drop us a DM on the Forged from Iron page at Forged Talk. And if people want to come down, we'll hope people come down. And Gatesy, before we carry on, I'm going to jump in, and that invitation there for that invitation for coming to my pub is extended to a certain Scotsman. It is. I know that you've reached out again to him, Mr. Gates. We are hoping that Mr. McAvenny may join us. Mr. McAvenny, if you are watching, as I've said before, there will be a bar tab for the evening for Mr. McAvenny if he wants to come down to my pub and do a little interview with us at one of the tables in the pub. We'll bring all the gear downstairs. We'll set it up, and then if he's agreeable to that, like I say, I'll pay for his beers all night. If he's agreeable to that, then we'll get some West Ham fans in and around on the tables to try and raise money for Isla as well. So we'll do like a £5 spot for seats at tables to come and ask some questions and watch us interview Frank live. So Frank, if you do get to see this, and through the power of wonderful the social media, you guys out there, tag Frank in at about 48 minutes so he knows what we're talking about when we're at, and he's at it again. Hopefully we can get Frank down with us.
Is he going to spell it properly?
Probably not. Let's not mess around. Oh, wait.
Hang on. One more letter.
All the pressure.
You can't cock this up. Oh, there we go. Look.
He can. He can.
Yeah,
West Ham online.
He's cocked up spelling Antonio and a hippio.
Hippio gate.
Hippio. Next nugget of information. Version. Shall we go to the next nugget of information?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, that's what we're here for.
We've won more Premier League games against Southampton, 19, than they have against any other opponent in the competition. Meanwhile, we have only scored more Premier League goals against Newcastle, 60, and Tottenham, also 60, than they have against Saints, 58. I never knew we'd scored that many goals against the Spuds.
Yeah, I got 3 the other. Yeah, can we just put him in a 5-minute timeout if he keeps misbehaving on the chat?
Must we? He'll get the
headmaster over here.
He'll start
I feel like
complaining. He'll
headmaster.
stamping his feet. You know what he's like.
If you want to interview me, Duke, for charity, then let me know. I'm more sandwiches. Oh dear. You know what, Luke?
I don't know about his keyboard, Pete. I think it's his brain. He's bored. What's this? If you want to interview me, Duke, for charity, then let me know. I'm more interesting than I seem. Free beer and sandwiches. What
Come on, Dan, as I said, I'll give you a couple of beers. I'm quite happy to do that. This concerns me. This comment here. This keyboard is sticky. I am concerned. I mean, this happened not so long ago when a few other people were saying about, I think it was Rice again, after one of the England games, didn't show up for training, and then it turned out he buggered his knee, if I remember rightly, and he was out for, 8 to 10 games, or 8 games, wasn't it, which we, towards the end of the season. So fingers crossed that there isn't much to that, Mick, and it is just literally that he was doing work inside rather than outside, bit of weight work rather than being out on the pitch.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out at 2 o'clock tomorrow when the teams are announced. Next nugget of information. I shall move on. Here it is.
You love a nugget, don't you?
I do. I love them. Southampton have kept just one clean sheet in their last 24 Premier League games. Bloody hell. That's shocking. Conceding in each of their last 14 since a 2-0 win against Sheffield United in March. Mind you, they were crap. It's their longest run without a clean sheet in the competition since September 2016, which lasted 16 games. Duke, that's surely a reason to be cheerful.
It is. I mean, listen, when you've got the players that we've got, Rob, and we have a fantastic attacking quartet up front. Antonio, Benrahma, Fornells, and Bowen. But we know that Soucek can pop up with a goal.
Yep.
We know that Declan Rice has goals in him. Last time out against Southampton, he got the goal in the third one. The goal he scored against Watford. I remember that one. That was an absolute shit pinger, wasn't it? Absolutely cracking thing. So we know that he's got goals in him. We know, the back line. Well, I say the back line. Cresswell's got a free kick in him. Zouma and Ogbonna are going to be dangerous in the air, and Soufal would prefer to pass across the 6-yard box at an open goal than he would to try and pass it into an open net. That's just big Vlad. But we've got goals everywhere. But with the attacking quartet that we've got to create chances, listen, they ain't keeping a clean sheet tomorrow, and you watch that come back and bite me in the arse now.
No, I think you'll be right. I think we've got enough to trouble them. Don't worry. I think we're at least scoring a goal, and I think we're doing more than that. I'm going for a 2-0 win. Hello.
3-1, yeah.
Right. Question for the panel. Right. I'll answer that after. I'll let Duke go first.
I'll just say, conscious of the time. Are we saying if we're saying if it was me? Then it's Areola all day long. I think he'll stick with Fab, and Areola will start against Zagreb on Thursday. Tomorrow between the sticks, he will pick Fab. I personally, I'd go with Areola. I'm done with the piss poor. His distribution has been piss poor for me. His kicking leaves a hell of a lot to be desired. And when you play out like we do, and we like to be on the back foot, at times I really would prefer to see. Areola in goal, because I think his distribution.
Yeah, I agree. I would rather have what? What?
Yeah, that. Good evening.
Hello, welcome. Make sure you subscribe.
Thank you. Yes,
listen, we appreciate everyone turning up. Listen, AFTV 10.
I'd like to say I love their channel too.
Yeah, listen, Arsenal was the team my grandfather supported, and any long-time listeners to this channel know that. I've
Yeah.
always had a little bit of a soft spot for Arsenal, although that did harden with the European Super League stuff. But sort of, if I take that to one side, they're a club I've got a tremendous amount of respect for. But like I say,
Thanks for
European
coming
Super
over.
League, but
Thank
yeah,
you.
listen, I couldn't, if people want, I'm not sort of like terribly territorial. And I've said it before, I love the banter of football. I would be absolutely crestfallen if Millwall, Tottenham, Chelsea went out of business tomorrow, because it's like, well, that's basically all my fun gone. So there you go. Another little nugget of information, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, next little nugget of information is, since David Moyes returned to West Ham in January 2020, we are one of just 4 Premier League clubs to have scored 100 goals in the competition, along with Manchester City, Manchester United, and Liverpool. Now, that is surely a reason to be cheerful, isn't it, Duke? That is mighty impressive.
It is, mate. Listen, at the end of the day, I think that Mr. Moyes has created a severe work ethic, mate. A severe work ethic in that team, and they all fight for each other out there. We spoke about it last season with the whole Soufal and Soucek bit, where Soufal got absolutely clattered in the box, and Soucek came running in and was ready to take on the world in his grandma, whilst Soufal was laying on the floor. And then also when Soucek went up for the header and split his face open and got up and still defended like an absolute monster.
Yeah.
An absolute monster. They've got a work ethic. They're fighting for each other. They're competing, and it shows it. It shows it that that's what they're doing, and I've got a lot of time for it. And Moyes has changed everything within that club. We are gonna push the he wants that one back up, Gatesy.
Okay, yeah.
We're gonna push the realms of it all. We're going to push the realms of it all, and we're going to be there or thereabouts, I reckon, again at the end of the season because of that. There you go, Brew.
That's not bad, is it? I mean, there's only 3 teams that are sort of like on a sort of similar plane to us, and they're all Champions League
Well,
teams.
you say on a similar plane to us. I mean, we're not on the same plane as those 4 teams,
Not in terms of financial firepower, no way.
No, that's what I was going to say.
On the types of
players, yeah, well, listen, you got one there that are bankrolled by a company that own a baseball team, my baseball team, the Red Sox.
Yeah.
The amount of money that they spend on contracts out there. They've got money to spend. They do. United have got money to spend. I'm not being funny. They've just gone out and spent it all out on Jadon Sancho. They bought back Cristiano Ronaldo. There's a lot of
money.
There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money there. So there's a lot of money out there that we don't have and they have, and I need to keep my thought process on track.
Yeah, very mischievous, AFTV 10. Very, very mischievous.
I wonder who AFTV 10 is. That's my question.
Yeah. In answer to the question, always, but not from you.
You know what? Yeah. That's not... yeah.
I'm a bloke. What can I say? What do you want me to say?
It's not going to be no, is it?
Yeah.
With regards to what Luke says there, you know what? That's a very good point. Very good point. We do, we need to be better in front of goal. We need to be scoring more goals because that happens. Hopefully, with the arrival of Zouma, that kind of, and again, no disrespect meant to Bobby Dawson. disrespect mentioned
You
Bobby
are,
Robson.
I'll tell you what, you are one mischievous sod. You and Chris have got a lot to answer for, taking my comment completely out of context.
Regarding that, hopefully Zouma puts a bit of steel into our back line.
Well played.
This is why.
Well played.
This is why I normally have this on full screen, so that I don't have to put up with seeing the comments down the side, and I don't lose my train of thought.
West Ham Online, he's doing the one-letter stuff. I've got no idea what he's going for here. EIRD. Eared? Is that sort of like your COVID
It's got a problem,
state as affected your spelling? I don't know what's going on. I don't. Oh no! So I've just realised there's a W there, sort of above Stephen's comment. So okay,
weird. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, West Ham Online, you are very weird. Stop changing your name backwards and forwards. All right, now behave your bloody stuff.
Terrible. Last little thing we're going to get onto, Duke, because obviously I realise time is pressing for you, sir. This was yesterday. I got this prepared. This was basically saying the Premier League Sky Sports rank every player after the opening 3 match days, and at that point, Michail Antonio was the Premier League's form player with 4 goals and 3 assists in 3 games. Also in the top 10 were Pablo Fornals, who occupied number 7, and Saeed Benram, who occupied number 10. Very, very impressive, you'd think. And fast forward just to this one here, the heat map and the shot map of the aforementioned Michail Antonio. Now, you mentioned something about the heat map a little earlier. Do you want to share it with the class?
Yeah, like I said, I'd rather see that bright red circle there at the top of the screen, more in the middle of the goal, if I'm honest with you. Not all the way out there. Now, I know he scored as many as... I know he scored as many as he has, but I'd still like to think that he could be more potent if he's more in the middle of the pitch and closer to goal than where he is there. But listen, if he continues to do what he does, and by the end of the season he has 22, 23 goals to his name, and he's there, or West Ham Online, behave yourself. He's there or thereabouts for, Premier League Golden Boot, which he has it in him. Let's not mess around. He has it in him to do it.
The only thing he's going to get in the way, though, is injuries, isn't it? That's the thing.
Of course he is, but he has the ability, to stay fit, to be there or thereabouts, And he wants it from the interview he did. So, he wants to be there or thereabouts. West Ham Online, no thank you. I don't do seconds, I'm afraid. I'm not to quote a great man, to quote a very great man, I'm not one for stirring porridge.
No, me neither. Well, that was yesterday, and today we had the news that this happened. Michail Antonio, player of the month.
Fully deserving, Rob. Fully deserving. He's got his critics, and on a bad day at the office for him, I will be one. Good luck, mate. They both have monsters. Might shut you up for a bit.
I'll tell you what, Luke. Brilliant. Brilliant.
It'd be a buffet for him. That's all you can eat. He has his critics. I'm one of them. On a bad day at the office, I'm one of his biggest critics. On his day, he's unplayable. On his day, he is an absolute monster. On his day, I would, I'd put him up there alongside, his unplayability, up there alongside someone like Didier Drogba or Diego Costa for being a bastard. He has that in him. He's such a beast. But I can't think of a better player in the Premier League in the opening 3 games, Rob, that deserved that award more than Antonio, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, Duke, Final thoughts on the match tomorrow before we wrap it up.
Yeah, listen, like everyone else, I am. I'm confident that we'll continue to run we're on. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know the other fixtures, so I don't know how they're gonna, they're gonna go about and what where we can end up if we do win, whether we end up back up top. I don't know. But just to keep the momentum going. Good evening, Richard. Just to keep the momentum going, Rob. I think, as Luke says there, 3-1 win. As West Ham Online says, same thing, 3-1 win. I can see Antonio getting on the score sheet again. I'm very confident, very confident. There are going to be no pushovers, but if we do what we do and we play how we play, then there's no reason why we can't.
I'm going, like I say, I'm going 2-0. I think we're keeping our first clean sheet tomorrow. I think that Kurt Zouma will just give us that little bit more defensive solidity that we've lacked.
Yeah.
Certainly in the Newcastle away game and the home game against Palace. I know we conceded a goal against Leicester, but to be fair, we were probably it was a sort of slack goal to give away. But I thought, other than that, I thought we, even Craig Dawson, I thought had a decent game against Leicester actually. But the two games either side, not for me at all. AFTV 10's going for a Desmond. Yeah, could do. Goals from Soufal and Ben Rama. Soufal, I doubt. I mean, he still hasn't scored for the Chelsea. Yeah, but I'm going 2-0. I think Antonio and why not Bowen? Why not get his opener?
I'd like to see Bowen get his goal. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I think we're getting a clean sheet, and then we go on to Zagreb. Can't be bad. Right, guys, for those of you that are watching, thanks for sticking with us. This is the really important bit, though. Obviously, we've chatted about West Ham and various other subjects as we've gone along, but this is the important bit. This little girl, Isla Caton, is struggling with neuroblastoma, and that is an understatement of the century. This is a cancer that she cannot get treatment in this country, so her family have got to raise funds to try and get the treatment to save her life. The treatment, the flights to and from where the treatment is in the world, the accommodation whilst they're there, their living costs while they're there, the bills that are still coming in the UK. Guys, all we're asking you to do as an absolute minimum, this information that's on this banner here is in the description below on YouTube and on Facebook. There is no reason that you cannot copy and paste this and put this onto all your social media platforms with a little note to, this is what it's about. There's a little girl that's struggling. That's all we ask you to do. If you are at all minded that you can put a couple of quid in the pot, you've got the Just Giving link there. Fill your boots. Don't let me stop you. And as I say, this little girl needs our help like 5 minutes ago. So, please don't put it off. Please don't sit there and think, I'll get round to it tomorrow. I'll get round to it next week. Guys, honestly, the clock is ticking for this little girl and we cannot hang about. Thanks for listening. And that is the end of our stream today, Duke.
It is. It's been good to be back, mate. I mean, we've had, as Luke said there, mate, I hate this bit. It breaks my heart every time. I'm the same, Luke, when Gatesy does it, as I said there, it does. It breaks my heart. I've got a 7-year-old boy, as you all know, and I've got a 17-year-old. I'll say 17. She's 17 in 3 weeks. I can't do it. So it does break my heart when Gatesy does that. But you know what? Listen, West Ham fans have been outstanding with the way they've been donating and everything else. So if we can do a little bit, we'll do a little bit. Gatesy, it's been great to be back. I'm not going to lie to you. I've heard this. I'll give you a shout in a bit off air once we shut this one down. Just because something's come up.
Oh, that's cool.
Nothing major, but I'll give you. We'll have a quick chat. Everyone that's been on the live chat, thanks for joining us. I must admit, it's been good to be back. It's been good to interact with you guys in the chat. If you haven't, please jump on and like and subscribe and touch the bell.
It makes sense.
If you haven't liked the video already, please like this video. There's 16 of you left. Jump on, like the video for me. Get that up and a bit higher. And Casey, what we got left?
Well, do you want to do the Milesy's normal sign out, or
listen? Seeing as he ain't here, I might have to. I might have to. You know what? Well, I don't know what I want to go with. I don't matter, does it? You know what?
Nah, not really.
We are fucking massive.
And
come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons. Thanks for joining us, guys. And on to St Mary's tomorrow. 3 points. It makes sense.